I think it's different when you're the one who's putting the record out. It always feels, at least to us, it always feels like it's probably a lot more different than our last record than we probably think it is. After we came out with it, I think I feel more that it's on par with the last record that we did and stuff. But for the most part, I think people are into it. You know, I mean, I haven't heard too much negative opinions on it, but I don't really try to seek out like too many like opinions on it. So from what I can tell, people seem to be into it. So it's been good.
And tour itself has been going well?
Yeah, the tour's been really good. I say this all the time, but I don't really think of us too much of like a headlining band or anything like that. Like we do okay, but we've never. This is our first headlining tour, and it was kind of a nerve-wracking thing going into it, just not really knowing. I mean, every night it's kind of, you know, we know what areas we do better than what areas we don't do that great in. So we kind of had a rough idea of what to expect, but overall the tour has been a lot better than we expected it to be, and more consistent as far as turnouts and stuff like that. So it's been really good. When we were approached with the idea for doing a headliner, the opening bands are kind of at our discretion, like, oh, like we can pick who we want to ask to bring on tour with us and stuff like that. And we've known Dom Youth for a pretty long time, and we've toured with them and stuff. And we wanted to be rock bands, you know. We didn't want to tour with, like, I don't know, like, not that we have anything against other genres of music or anything like that, but we wanted it to be, you know, heavy, like loud guitars and stuff like that. So I just think it was a pretty easy choice to make. Both bands are like I said, Dom Youth they're friends of ours, and we were just a really big fan of Roswell Kids' music. We didn't really know them personally until the beginning of the tour, but it's been really cool having them on tour too. They're really fun to hang out with and stuff. So we just wanted to have bands play with us that were, you know, like rock bands, and they're just bands that we like. So I just think it's been cool having just an all rock and roll kind of bill every night. So I'm into that. Some bands, there's one guy that writes everything, and other bands, it's just two guys and they collaborate and they write everything. With us, it's kind of everyone writes everything. It'll usually start with like one of us will have like a guitar part or like a bass line or something like that. And then sometimes we'll have like two parts, like, oh, you know, I have like the beginning and like a verse of a song or something like that, and then we'll you know, we'll show everyone else, and then the rest of us will kind of develop ideas around that, and we'll kind of write a song together. So none of us are really, we're not the kind of band where like we'll write songs and then just teach the song to everyone else in the band, be like, oh, I wrote this entire song. It's usually like, hey, I have like this idea for the start of a song, and then all of us together will kind of expand off of that. So we kind of write everything together, and I wouldn't say that we have like a primary writer or anything like that. Like everyone kind of contributes equally and stuff like that. So it's cool because I feel like not too many bands are that way. Like I found it's usually like I said, one or two guys that are, at least if they don't write everything, they write like a vast majority of the stuff. So it's cool. We kind of it's a very collaborative thing. We all like similar kinds of music, but all of us very, like, I would say, you know, Zach is very, our drummer Zach he's more kind of, he's into more music than we are for the most part. I think he's very like listens to a lot of different stuff, and I probably mostly listen to just loud rock music and like classic rock and stuff like that. And I think we all like the same core kinds of music, but all of us kind of are, I guess our main interest in music is different from member to member in the band. So I think overall we just all appreciate like, you know, like straight up rock and roll music, and so I think we just kind of have a common interest in that, and that influences us. But I know that we, as far as musical influences go, we definitely kind of pull from all sorts of stuff, just because, you know, we like like stoner rock and like Black Sabbath and stuff like that, and like heavy slow stuff. But we also like, you know, like Weezer and Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that. So we try to keep the influences kind of vast, I guess. But overall, it's basically just we like rock music. I feel like this surprises a lot of people when I say it, but I personally really like LA.
Yeah.
I like, the shows are usually good there, and I just like being there. The weather's always really good, and there's always stuff to do. And Texas, I really like Austin in particular. They have really good food, and I feel like music is such like a big part of like culture in Austin, and it's always, the shows are really cool there. Like I said, the tour has been pretty good, so like a lot of the shows are kind of almost surprisingly good. Like San Francisco was really cool. Well, we played in Berkeley, which is like outside of San Francisco, but it's, you know, it's the same thing. But yeah, I guess California for me, I really like playing there. The weather is always like, I'm always hot. Like I'm for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm always hot. So in California, it's like warm, but in the morning and night, it's like cool. So it's like you get a break from it, but the weather's still like really nice outside. And I don't know. Yeah, so probably California. It's number one for me. Not to like dwell on it too much, but I just feel like you know, we've played kind of like one-off shows and stuff where we were the headlining band, and it's kind of weird. I mean, with a tour, I feel like it's different because it's promoted as like, you know, like it's our headlining tour rather than, oh, you know, like Superheaven's playing this one show in North Carolina. It's a little less like, it's not usually promoted as, for lack of a better word, I guess, like as an exciting thing, like as big of a deal. Not that I think that we are a big deal, but I just think that, like, you know, that our first headlining tour is kind of like, it's kind of, we can promote it more of like a whole thing rather than just, you know, like, oh, we're playing a show like on the way to this fest in North Carolina. So I mean, it's been cool. As a band, we're pretty pessimistic, I think, a lot of times. We kind of go into a lot of things thinking like, yeah, like this is probably not going to be that cool, but, you know, we'll just kind of like see how it goes. But I think that's just because we try not to have our expectations set too high and then be let down. So I think our expectations for the tour, we didn't think it was going to be terrible, but I think we thought it would be, you know, there would be some, I think that we thought that the rough spots would be way rougher than they were. Like, I think the bad shows on the tour really weren't that bad at all. They were still enjoyable and stuff like that. So it's been cool. Our label, Side One Dummy, they emailed us about it, and they're like, hey, we had this promotional idea that we've heard of like companies and stuff doing, where they develop like just a simple video game. And then they're like, you know, we'll base it around like your guys' music video, and it'll be this, and, you know, like you'll have lasers and you'll shoot aliens and stuff. And I was a little wary on it at first, just because I was like, I don't really get it. Like, can you make a video game? Like, I don't know anything about that. So I was kind of like, is that going to be like cheesy, or? And everyone in the band seemed down with it, so I was like, yeah, I mean, I might as well go for it. But yeah, we made it, and it was cool. People seemed to be into it. Like, people responded to it kind of better than I thought they would. I mainly people just seemed to be like, I mean, it's cool because there was incentive to like win like prizes and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a cool like marketing tactic, I guess.
Yeah. You played it?
Yeah, I played it because we had to kind of like test it to approve it, and I haven't played it much more than that because I couldn't really. I mean, it was definitely simple, but it was the kind of thing where like it like stressed me out. I was like, I don't want to like get too deep into this, but I played it a couple times and it was cool. If you haven't checked out the two bands that are on tour with us, definitely them, Roswell Kid and Diamond Youth. There's a band that I really like from Atlanta that we played with on this tour. We've known them for a little while. They're called Big Jesus, and I think they have a record on like Bandcamp or something. But they're really good. They're kind of like Deftones, kind of like Smashing Pumpkins at times. Like sometimes they kind of sound like Quicksand, I guess, but like they're very much like up my alley as far as like the kind of music that I like, and I think they're a really good band. I always try to recommend them to people and stuff. But yeah, nothing else really comes to mind. Actually, there's a band from sort of around our area called West Point, and they're friends of ours, and they're playing our show tomorrow, and they're really good too. So West Point and Big Jesus and Diamond Youth and Roswell Kid. Those are my picks.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. All right.
Thank you so much for taking
Yeah, sure. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck at the show tonight.
Thank you.